Hello, Internet, and welcome to the Free-to-Play Cast. It's Thursday, once again, episode 153, brought to you by MMOBomb.com, your home for all things free-to-play related. We've got the news, we've got your D-bombs, we've got your A-bombs, we've got your weekly feedback, and your questions for the viewers, so we're just gonna get started here. First, joining me, like he always does, you know him, you love him, you want more of him, Mr. Jason Winter. What's up, sir?
I just want you to know that just for you and just for the podcast, I put on pants.
Well, you didn't have to do that. I mean, I'm certainly not going to be doing that. That's just absurd.
I did go for a walk just now, so I figured I should do that before. I just kind of kept them on, just kind of rolled into it, you know.
Right. For the pants thing and the walk thing, that was probably a safe idea. Yeah. Probably a safe idea.
They'll be coming off as soon as we're done here. Just so.
God. Zach Sharp's out this week doing some school stuff, so we'll see Zach next week. He's fine. He's still walking with legs that he does actually have. So let's slide over to the news and get started. First up this week, let's talk about a little Skyforge. It's been a few weeks. And I'm sure Zach would have talked a lot about Skyforge in our next topic, but we'll get to that in a second. Excuse me. Skyforge announced their next big update coming about a week from now, where the catch-up system is going to be introduced. Now, we've heard about this for a while now. Keep in mind during this discussion that Skyforge is still in open beta, okay? I mean, it's not even launched yet. It's still in open beta, hasn't reached official launch, and it's only been in beta for a couple of months now. So if you don't know what the catch-up system is, the way Skyforge works with its whole prestige system, right? You're not leveling and doing things that way. You're gaining prestige through equipment and order and all these. Totally different, right? Let's shift the numbers elsewhere and call them something else. Since you're not gaining levels, you gain prestige. And some people are gaining prestige very quickly. Some others not so much. So ass backwards. I don't know what they're doing. Initially, they put the spark caps and the spark limits in to try and corral people into similar ranks of prestige, right, Jason? So that they had people to play with.
That was the theory.
Then the spark limits pissed people off. Then people found other ways to just, do their order and things and gain prestige anyway above those limits. They played the game the way the developers intended for them to play it. Very few, but some did. And because people didn't like the spark limits, they started putting in content that bypassed the spark limits, which kind of took the reins off of the whole corralling of prestige. Now we're going to put in a system that allows you to catch up prestige faster so that you can join these higher prestige people, even though we've also already put in a system that scales prestige to let you play together. There's so many freaking systems here, I don't get it. The long and the short of the catch-up system, which is pretty divisive right now, if you go take a look at some of the places where they talk of the Skyforge on the internet, it's basically promo adventures that give you boosts to your gains as you're leveling or as you're gaining prestige, and those boosts decrease as you get closer and closer to something. I mean, it's not like they take the highest prestige person in your region and then everybody else scales below that. It's just until you reach something, and then it stops. You don't get the bonuses anymore. In theory, kind of a good system, right? If you just think about it not in relationship to a game, but if Jason's playing Lord of the Rings Online, he's been playing it for, 7 years, and I say, Jason, I want to play 100 levels, that's just, I don't know. I don't want to do it.
Noob.
Yeah, I don't want to do it. And Lotro's been out for so many years, and Jason wants more people to play with, and so do the other high-end people. So it makes sense for them to put some type of system in there to kind of expedite things for me. Some games have taken it all the way to the just buy a level 90 character, right? But at least put something in there to expedite. I get that. And the game is levels anyway, so it all works the same. I'm just going through things you already went through a little faster. So it makes sense to me in that framework. When you put it in a game that already has a scaling feature, that isn't launched yet. It's still in open beta. It kind of seems like a punch to the people that have been playing in open beta a little bit, right?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're just trying to accelerate the lifespan of their MMO to get it all done in like 6 months or so. Like that's when it's going to shut down in 6 months. They've already had the two different ways to get people closer. Then they're going to do something else that other MMOs do like 4 years down the line. Then they'll just shut down in 6 months or something. That's my.
It's really bizarre.
Yeah, it's just weird the pace at which they're going in this sort of thing. I mean, like you say, in general, it's not a bad idea, but you've already got the one thing you just put in a few weeks ago, and now you're doing this other thing. And like you said, it says here, let's see, as a player gets further to the current maximum obtainable by old players, the amount of bonus rewards decreases.
What an arbitrary, nondescript goal.
What is the maximum obtainable by old players?
I have no idea.
The maximum with spark caps, or the highest prestige guy in the game already, or...
Right, and they're trying to build this little buffer, which again is arbitrary. They're saying, you will never catch up fully to the veterans that have been here since open beta started.
Half as close.
Right, so where exactly does it stop, and where's that gap? And it just seems like, wow, the direction here just seems odd for me with Skyforge right now on some of these things. Granted, the game's fun, you want to go and play, great, but on these back-end systems, like enticing new people to play while not pissing off your veterans and putting limits in so that you could do this, but then taking it out and putting in scales, and I'm not really sure what's going on here. And the catch-up system coming while open beta is launched just seems absurd to me. It really does, because you're 2 months into your game and now you're saying, okay, Jason, you've got 20k prestige that you've worked the last month in open beta to get. Mike's just going to start playing right now, but we want him to get close to you very quickly, so we're going to give him bonuses until he reaches 18,000 prestige. And so I'm going to get it in a day or two, and we're still in open beta.
I don't know about a day or two. I think I would again, I would hope to think it's a little more than that, but obviously that's part of the thing. This is something that probably should have been described a little better.
Definitely. I mean, we don't even know where the thresholds are on when this stuff's going to stop.
Or the rate at which it's going to go up. Yeah.
Right? Or the rate it decreases over time. Like, is it on every couple thousand prestige? Okay, we knock you down 3%? What the hell? So I'm sure there's going to be more information coming on it, but this is a feature that's being launched, what, the 16th?
Yeah, 6 days from now.
So 6 days from today. And if you're a veteran player, does this piss you off? Like, if you've been playing since day one, somebody, like a Zach Sharps that is actually really into the game and puts a fair amount of time in it, or did at one point.
Stopped around day 14.
Right,
yeah.
Or did at one point. Does this miff you a little bit?
Again, you got to know about it. You got to know how much this bonus is. If it's like a 10% bonus, as long as they're lower than the average, weighted average of everybody out there or something like that, then okay. Then, instead of taking, 2 months to get where I am, it's going to take you a month and a half or even a month. I might be okay with that. But yeah, again, you need to know what it's all about. And I could certainly see how some people could get kind of upset about that, having the game only been around for a little while. Especially if they were the kind of people who were bouncing up against the spark caps all the time. Where like, I can't progress any farther. I'm going as far as I can. Yeah, I've got 20,000, 30,000 prestige, but I've been bouncing up against the spark cap the whole time and just barely making that. Now other people are going to just... they're going to get half the spark cap, but they're going to get as far as I go, every time. So it's like...
Right. And there's other players that are upwards of 60k prestige.
Yeah.
So there's huge numbers. This just seems like a really oddball thing to me. You're in open beta, and if you think that you need to implement this, then perhaps what really needs to happen is the experience rates just need to be adjusted.
Yeah, experience rates or spark cap or something like that. Yeah, I just can't see a reason why you would do this 2 months into the life cycle.
A whole new system.
Yeah.
Just up the experience gains in the monsters or wherever you feel it's lacking. The monsters, the overall experience when you complete a quest, whatever. And say, okay, it's taking people a little longer to progress than we wanted to, so let's adjust this a little bit. It's kind of arbitrary to just say, okay, Mike's going to start playing now, and we're going to give him bonuses until he catches up to the bulk of our player base. I don't know. I don't get it. And you have to take into consideration that in theory this could skip content too. You know, if I'm out leveling something that you would have had to do at that appropriate prestige level, but I've gained too much prestige that I'm going to start bypassing one or two different stops on the planet that I don't have to go to for the linear portion of the story, then you're now bypassing content rather than still having all the content be required and explored and played, which you could do by just playing with the experience levels a little bit.
What I found, actually, I'm not too worried about that part. What I found, and I'm only like about 5,500 prestige right now. I haven't played for a little while.
Noob.
But, yeah. The linear stuff unlocks at different prestige levels. Like at 5,500, they're going to say, oh, go do this thing.
Right.
That's going to get me maybe about 200 or 250 prestige. And the next part opens up at like 6,200. So I have to go and grind out random adventures for another 500 or so prestige. So if this gives me more up to that point, then maybe I don't have to grind out like 200 or 300. So I'm not too worried about skipping the linear content part. I think that's still taken care of if that same kind of pattern holds for later stuff. I've encountered that for like the last two storyline bits that I've done where I was well below the prestige needed to unlock the next part. So if that's okay, then fine. But I just wonder overall if they're seeing their high-end content, their big operations and raids and invasions, and seeing people not get there as quickly as they would have hoped. And that's why they think they need to accelerate people. Which, again, after 2 months
Which
out,
is a bizarre occurrence if that's the case, because every other MMO that's ever launched had the exact opposite.
Well, the thing is, I think they have. I think we hear from the really loud people who just burn through it all in a month or whatever, and are there and are bored and whatever. I think that most people after 2 months are not bored with Endgame. I think that top 5 or 10% who always are just going to burn through it all are. But I think most people at that point are still kind of just getting there and just kind of learning it. So I don't know if they're just impatient that they don't have enough people doing this high-end stuff, and they're going to be adding 40-person operations or whatever. So you need tons of people, I guess. But
I don't know. It just seems weird to me. You already have the prestige scaling system, so it doesn't really matter if you're 20,000 prestige ahead of me. We can still go do stuff together. And it's in open beta, so if you're feeling that, okay, the leveling experience is exactly what we expected, but players are saying it feels a little slow, well, then let's just tweak some of the experience. There's other ways around this, considering you're in open beta, too. Granted, I know you're dealing with a game that is further along in development in the East than it is in the West, but still, it's a bit weird. I don't know. Let us know what you think. I think it's a weird system to be adding at this point. It makes sense to me for something like Lord of the Rings Online, or hell, even World of Warcraft and Rift and older titles like that to kind of entice people to come along. But open beta, very bizarre.
And especially if you're a higher prestige player, let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Let us know if you think this seems necessary. Like, this would have been a great help to you. Have you been grinding so much that you're like, man, I wish I would have been able to take advantage of this early? That's what we're trying to figure out, is what's the reason for this? Does it seem logical that there is a reason for it? So.
Yep. Let us know in the comments below. Labor Day this week in the United States, so the news got a little bit slow at the beginning of the week, starting to pick up a little bit, but man, we're going to be at week's end tomorrow, so don't anticipate to get it too crazy. So since the news is a little slow, I thought we don't get this opportunity often because we got to cover the news. Let's go through what our favorite free-to-play game is right now, at this exact moment, because we all know you've played Lord of the Rings Online. I used to dabble in Rift, and you dabble in you more than dabble in Guild Wars 2, and then I play a little of this, and Zach plays a little of this. We all kind of mention what we're playing on that specific day, but I wanted to take a minute and talk about what our favorite our favorite free-to-play game overall is at this exact moment, what we like about it, what we like about the cash payment model and everything. I'm going to answer for Zach since he's not here at Skyforge. We'll just...
We know he loves it.
We know he loves it. I have no idea if he even still plays the damn thing. Why don't you go first? Go ahead.
Okay, well, I could answer Guild Wars 2, but that's only been free to play for like 2 weeks, and it's not like I played it as a free to play guy. So I'm going to push that aside. You can read everything I love about Guild Wars 2 on MMORPG.com, where I get paid for every hit I get. But anyway, actually, no, there's a threshold I have to get to, and then, but if you want to click on it like 10,000 times or so, go right ahead. But anyway, no, I'm going to actually go with PlanetSide 2, and I was actually thinking a while. I was trying to think, okay, what am I going to give for why I like PlanetSide 2? Well, first off, of course, I did the triple play a couple months ago, so you can always go look back at that video because hey, more hits for MMO Bomb. It's great, more money. But what I was thinking, and I thought back to when I was playing in beta with some friends, and we were having kind of a bad time at the moment. We were getting killed and getting knocked all around over the place. And at one point, the guy, our squad leader, whatever, said, "Man, we're getting killed. We're getting beat up all over the place." And I said, "Yeah, but I still like it." And he said, "Oh, so Jason's just glad to be here. He's just glad to be invited." And I thought, that almost sums it up, actually, because, I look back at games I played like 30 years ago, when I was playing on the Nintendo or the Atari 2600 or whatever like that. If you'd have shown me PlanetSide 2 back then, I would have bleeped my pants, basically. If you could tell me in 30 years I could play that game and it would be basically free, I'd just be like, oh my God, it's heaven and blowjobs, man. It's just, I mean, what else could I want?
Oh my God.
You're going to edit that out, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Okay. It's going to be the title. But yeah, I mean, I just...
No, it's definitely not going to be the title. Yeah, Brim, I gotta get Brim back on the show. It's been a while. It's hard to get him. He's busy. But Brim does that to me all the time on this damn show. He'll drop something like that. Oh.
But yeah, I mean, I know PlanetSide 2 isn't perfect. I know it can, it has its bugs, and they can be a little slow in the development of it sometimes, and so on. But I just like being able to go around, drive around, shoot stuff, blow stuff up, have all the different variety of stuff there, and do it in just a modern, I don't know how else to put it, other than make it seem like it's so fanciful and so modern compared to the stuff I'm used to over the past 20, 30 years. Maybe someone who grew up with, their first console was a PlayStation 2 or something. Maybe they're not as impressed by, a high-end shooter game as I am with my back in my day kind of feelings on stuff. But yeah, I mean, I like that it's that. I like that it's very inclusive, very easy to get into. You're gonna get shot, you're gonna get killed a lot, but then you can go right ahead and kill the other guy back. There's no major. I know Gary would hate. There's no consequences for death. It should have to be eviscerated and have a shock come out of the computer and send 300 volts through your body every time you die. But I like that you can just go in, you can have a good time, you can be serious about it. And I know some people get really serious at the military outfits where they're just totally being all tactical and everything, but the fact that it can suit different kind of play styles, you can go in and have fun, even if you're not an expert at shooters like I am, I think is what really makes it for me.
See, and I could go with you on a lot of that stuff. I really could. I mean, I'm wearing my Daybreak shirt right now, so...
I'm actually wearing a Sony shirt, so it kind of fits.
There we go. I can go with you on a lot of that, even though I'm not and you aren't either generally a PvP guy, but that's the whole point. My only problem with PlanetSide 2 is twofold, and one of them doesn't even apply anymore, which I'm going to give credit to them for fixing this. Initially, the cash shop and the whole conversion, it was abysmal. With the what are they? The certs. And all that jazz. But they did fix that stuff. So kudos to them. Again, player feedback, fixing things. I like when players feel like they're being heard. The one thing that I have a problem with isn't the no consequence for death, although I do think there should be some type of thing, but I understand why there isn't in this particular game because of its design. So I think if you're not going to have consequences for death, you really have to have a point to the whole thing. And PlanetSide, for me, just doesn't feel like there's a point.
Yeah, I mean, it does get a little repetitive at that, because you're just fighting the same battles over and over.
Yeah, and it's I get the whole, well, we're going to take over areas of the map, but eventually, in the grand scheme of things, while it may open up little bonuses or little things that you can do here and there, there's no real point to the game. It's just go in and do all this stuff.
But on the other hand, what PvP game does have that? I mean, what's the point of continuing to fight in League of Legends?
Well, because you're going to eventually destroy the Nexus, and that's going to end the match. There's a point to the match.
Oh, because you're saying something match-based as opposed to... Well, they do have kind of the planetary conquering thing, whatever, but yeah.
But yeah, I can't disagree with too much of that. I'm not a huge PvP guy, and I still enjoy a PlanetSide 2 match here and there. I'm going to go with Path of Exile. And again, it's kind of like PlanetSide 2, you really got to be into this type of game first, but if you are, it's great. You've got to be into the ARPG, right? If you're not into the ARPG, loot fest and do the same dungeon a bunch of different times or the same area a bunch of different times, trying to get different loot, then obviously you're going to hate Path of Exile. because that's what it is. But if you enjoy that Diablo experience, that you're just gonna love Path of Exile. As far as the cash shop goes, it's second to none. And I was on a show recently where I had to pick the best free-to-play model out there right now and debate it against somebody over on Massively OP. And I took Rift.
So we're all plugging our work on other sides.
Right. I took Rift because the question specifically said MMORPG that I had to pick. But had it just been what's the best free-to-play model, I would have taken Path of Exile. I mean, you really can't argue with the cash shop. There isn't a single thing on there that if you just don't want because you just want it, that you need to buy. And you can play this very deep, very engrossing game with tons of shit to do. That's a lot of fun. It's well polished. All around, Path of Exile gets it for me. It's my favorite free-to-play game right now.
Yeah, and I am one of those guys who's not really into ARPGs.
So you're going to hate it. Yeah. I mean,
gotten into it so much. But I do see it with the different stuff they do. They have their leagues or their other like competitions and so on. I wish MMOs would do some more of that. I think that would be a kind of a different kind of play style than just your typical arena PvP or open world PvP.
Yep.
You know, this would allow for something a little different for you to try to do. Even like a survival game, like a DayZ sort of thing. I know they have their like Survivor games or Battle Royale and H1Z1, but even some other kind of like limited time, 2 hours, who can kill the most people or something like that. Something like that would be kind of neat too.
Yeah, all around. I mean, and man, The Awakening was a hell of a patch. No wonder they open beta tested that beast. It was a beast. It really was. It's just impressive. Like, I would really love to see their financials. I mean, because we've heard rumors about why this game has such a good free-to-play model. We've heard some of the rumors, obviously, and it's very, very hard to get down to what's actually going on with some finances as far as who's angel investing and stuff like that in any game. But with Grinding Gear games, it gets a little more challenging, too.
Okay, don't we have the funds to send me on an investigative trip to New Zealand?
Right. Let's send you to New Zealand with a magnifying glass to investigate it. So yeah, you've probably heard the rumors. We've heard the rumors too on why it may have the best free-to-play model out there. But I really hope that it is it's just truly a great model and they've got a great product and just kind of like a League of Legends thing, right? They got a great product, they got a great model behind it, people like spending money in it, and I hope that's exactly what's going on with Path of Exile too, because I think a ton of free-to-play games can learn a hell of a lot about how to do it right with both PlanetSide 2 and Path of Exile, their models. Skyforge, yeah, whatever. All right, last up before we get to weekly feedback, Blade and Soul finally announced their closed beta date. We knew it was coming in fall/winter. Well, the magic date is October 30th for the English version of the game in the West. November 24th if you're looking for French or German clients. So here's their plan, Jason. What do you think? They want to have at least 5 closed beta sessions with a total of at least 20 closed beta days. So we're probably looking at beta weekend type deals, Friday through Monday. Sounds pretty standard, and although you may look at that and go, well, that's not a lot of testing, it kind of makes sense, right? I mean, Blade and Soul's been out in the East for ages now, sure. So it's more localization testing. Any problem with their plan?
No, not that part of it.
And the part that Jason probably does have the problem with would be that, yeah, you can sign up on the website to try and get lucky and get a beta key, but the only sure way to get in is via a Founders Pack, and we briefly mentioned these on a previous show. I want to take a minute or two and go through them here. We've got 3 packs starting at $24.99 USD, $74.99 USD, and $124.99, which I'm sure Jason's already bought 2 of, huh?
3.
All right, so go ahead, vent on it a little bit. What don't you like?
That they're Founders Packs.
But they're giving you Endcoin, so you're...
Well, the 2 expensive ones are.
Right, well, the cheap one isn't, but it is giving you access to all the closed betas, a 3-day head start, 2 character titles, and 20,800 premium points. Let's see, what the hell's a premium point?
Yeah, I had to look at them. I looked them up too.
Granted to your account at the beginning of Blade and Soul's head start period, these points are permanent and will give you access to the additional benefits of level 2 membership, should you choose to purchase premium membership at any point in the future.
So I think they're like Rift's loyalty or a lot of other games loyalty programs. You'll get 2 months worth of loyalty or level 2 of loyalty.
Yeah, because their premium membership is 30 days, redeemed from Head Start, grant you special convenience perks, bonus gold, XP from quests, reduced commission fees in the item auction house, all the kind of usual perky stuff that you see with free-to-play games offering some type of subscription or membership. You know what? I'm not going to buy one.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not.
Wow.
I'm just not that excited about Blade and Soul anymore.
A lot of people are saying the same thing.
Years ago, I was like, man, that needs to come west. That needs to come west like right now. But it's just been so long, and so much has come out since then. And honestly, I think so much better has come out since then, that this is going to have... I could see this one being like an Arcade, and not in the sense of a disaster like Arcade was, but just that huge title that has 1 million to 2 million people sign up and play like day one that it launches or goes into open beta, and then a month later nobody's playing it.
So I was thinking,
and nobody is probably not the right word. I probably piss off Arcade fans by saying that. I know there's not nobody playing it. But the difference between 2 million and 250,000 is extreme over the course of 2 months. And I'm just worried that that's what's going to happen with this one.
I was thinking more along the lines of something like Aeon, which I thought, in terms of overall, just again, it was really this big hype title from the East. I remember, oh my God, people in my Lotro guild were like gonna quit Lotro to play Aeon. I remember that. And they all got into it, and about a month later they were all back. So I mean, but Aeon still chugs along. It has its dedicated fans. It's done all right for itself, but never achieved that oh my God, greatest thing ever kind of thing that really matched up to the hype that it had.
Founders Packs, by the way, are only going to be available pre-launch. So you don't... Currently, they're not planning to sell some type of equivalent thing after the actual launch. And if you're not from Europe or North America and you still want to buy a Founders Pack, you can, but they will take your money, but you do have to play on North American or European region servers. So, yeah, there you go. I'm not going to buy one, which is surprising.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I usually buy everyone.
I mean, look at the later ones, and I sort of did the math. I'm like, the next one is like $50 more expensive, and gets you just in terms of membership and coin like $45 worth of stuff. So, they're decent deals if you're okay with the $24.99 on the initial. But yeah, if you're not gonna, if you don't think you're gonna be really into it, then there's just no point.
Well, that'll be our question of the week for you guys and gals. So we'll get down to it. Let's go do the weekly bombs. Alright, I'm going to go first. I got to give a dub bomb to Squeenix. My guys and gals at Square Enix, I think they made the right call again. And it's impressive that they're actually doing it. Because I remember back when version 1 launched, they didn't even listen, let alone do it. But Square Enix delayed or Square Enix, if you prefer, delayed Nosgoth Leagues, the competitive stuff with Nosgoth that we were talking about a few weeks ago, for a full 2 months. Was supposed to come out at the beginning of October. Now it will not be coming out until the beginning of December, simply based on player feedback and testing. Not ready, problems with it. They want to be able to handle solo players in a more meaningful way. They want to be able to handle people dropping matches in a more meaningful and penalizing way. So based off the player feedback, delayed for a full 2 months, and you know what? I'm okay with it. I'm totally okay with it. Delay it for 2 months if you have to. If your players are telling you it's not right, then it's not right, and they're the ones that are going to pay the bills. So, kudos. Dub bomb to Squeenix.
But they are still giving out prizes for the couple months they're missing. So
yes, they are. So
that's excellent.
That is excellent too. You still can get the prizes. You're up, sir.
I'm going to give an A bomb to Magic Duels or Duels Origins or whatever the heck they're calling it this week.
It depends on their own sites what you're looking at.
Yeah, exactly.
We were talking about that the other day on Facebook. It called it Magic Duel's Origin still, but on Twitter the name had been corrected, or vice versa, something like that.
Really? Oh my gosh.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Just the fact that I haven't played it for almost a month, and I really don't care to, because it was just so bad at launch. It's one of those. Sometimes you'll have those games where they'll launch, and you're interested in them, but they're so buggy, or they have some other major issues. You're like, I'll check back in like 3 months or so and see if they figured their shit out. And that's what I'm doing here, basically. It's like maybe they'll get their act together in a few months, and I'll care again. But right now, just I have other stuff to care about, so just never mind.
Do you read Game Informer at all?
Occasionally.
Game Informer gave it an 8.5 and called it better than the Planeswalkers series, which I was flabbergasted. I think I scored that thing like a 6 on a similar scale, because it's kind of the scale in my mental head here that I use, and they scored it an 8.5, and I mean, in the full page review, there wasn't a single word about server issues, matchmaking issues, none of it. It wasn't even mentioned.
Well, you don't have server. Did they do it after launch or before launch?
I have no idea. I
mean, obviously you're not gonna have server issues. Yeah, actually, now I'm looking at their Steam page, and they still have the logo for Magic Duel's Origins, even though it says Magic Duels up top.
Elusive X Treasure says, "Gotta give an A-bomb to my husband." Oh boy, here we go. Let's see whose side I'm going to be on by the end of this. We're going to take sides, Jason and I.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So Elusive X Treasure, we're going to take sides here. Gotta give an A-bomb to my husband for pushing all my OCD buttons at once. We were playing Arcade. Shut up, naysayers. I enjoy the game.
Well, she's the one player who likes it. Okay.
Okay, so she's playing Arcade. Right now, I'm leaning to the husband's side. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. After I've been on my farming character for several hours running trade packs and harvesting materials for our next level of armor, I'd happily put my gathering blinders on and was hacking away at some mobs for a quest when the hubby, doing the same nearby, points out... Okay, now I'm back in the middle because they're both playing. Doing the same nearby, points out a mint plant ready for picking. Now, I know he was only trying to be helpful. I'm leveling cooking, but what he didn't see was the saffron next to it, or the 2 plants across the road, or the 3 more behind the rock. Needless to say, my poor Templar ended up dotting the landscape mob to plant to mob to plant to mob for the next half hour. All right, I gotta be on the husband's side here, simply because it sounds like he didn't realize that he was sending you on this kind of chase.
See, I got to be on the wife's side because I'm like that too. When I see a node somewhere on the map, I gotta go get it.
See, and I'm sure I would be, but I could not care less about crafting or gathering in just about every MMO I've ever played.
Even a bad crafting system, I still always dig into. I don't
as
know
long as
why.
it has decent inventory.
No, yeah, that too. But yeah, even when it's like some crappy thing where I have to make 83 suits of armor to get to the next level, I'll still grind out those 83 damn suits of armor. And they'll take up all that space in my bags.
So, Elusive X Treasure, your house is split, and you have split the hosts on this week's show. Go ahead for the next one, Jason.
This comes from Old Style. It says, gotta give a dub-bomb to Neverwinter. I was a long-time patron of the game up until May 2015 when I left due to not being able to take the mess that was the Elemental Evil expansion any longer. However, after reading the press coverage regarding the internal changes they made at Cryptic and the changes they made to the expansion itself, I came back to see for myself. Not only did they do a great job getting that expansion in order, the new Stronghold expansion is fantastic content. Looks like they are back on track and doing it right. Any MMO can stumble at some point, but it's the response and how quickly they can right the ship, which they should be judged on. Thanks, guys. We love the show here in Chi-Town. Well, thank you, Old Style.
Yeah.
I love Chicago-style pizza, so that's almost the same, right?
I love Chicago. So, yeah. Well, hey, dub-bomb to Neverwinter.
I'm a Vikings fan, so I can't really love Chicago.
My Steelers and the Patriots are playing tonight to kick off the NFL season, so we'll see how that goes. Deflategate. Bunch of cheating. No, I don't care. Whatever. Lupia Valentin says, Romania represent! Another shout-out from Romania. Don't try to pronounce my name, please. A little too late for that. Just call me Bob. It's fine. All right, Bob, thanks for representing from Romania.
I'm going to guess it's Valentine.
Valentine. I think that's definitely Lupia, though.
Lupia.
No, I'm going to go with what I originally said. Lupia Valentin.
Okay.
And you're going to say Lupia Valentine?
Yes.
All right, Bob, let us know which one was the closest, if either one of us was right. I'm going to take the next one, too, since it's basically the
It's an
same
easy name
thing.
to pronounce.
Frank Tovar, cheers from Costa Rica, Magic Man and Company. Shout out to Costa Rica. Love you, love you, love you. Thanks for watching. Next bomb, go ahead.
That's what we did last week. We said, tell us where you're from.
Yeah, tell us where you're from.
Okay, right.
We used to do it all the time, so why not?
Age, sex, language, ASL, something like that. Anyway. Sky Shadow says, hey, I have 2 A-bombs. First A-bomb to try on Worlds for the good idea to delete my account that I spent over 180 hours on Trove just because I was away for 2 months.
Whoa.
That's weird. Why would they delete
Doesn't sound right. How'd that happen?
Definitely send in a ticket for that. I don't know what the deal is. That's just, yeah. The second A-bomb is for me because I came back to Trove. It's been 160. I don't read these ahead of time, guys. So I came back to Trove. It's been another 160 hours. Damn, I love the game, but I hate Tryon Worlds for that. P.S. Love the show and just got 5 of my friends to get on the MMO bomb boat. You have more than one Romanian fan, believe me. Well, we have at least 5 of his friends. Plus
yeah,
P,
and then 2.
plus
We're
Bob.
like 8.
Bob, so 7.
If we count last week, we're at 8.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 8.
Because that's what kicked this off. So shout out to Romania. You're winning so far.
So
you're winning. The United States isn't even checking in, except for one from Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago guy. Yeah.
So check in next week, everybody. Right now, Romania's in the lead. V2099, I have a question. One of the things that keeps me in DDO, Dungeons & Dragons Online, is the fact that you get rewarded via XP for doing things to get more XP, for instance, smashing breakables, revealing hidden doors, and most of all, disabling traps. All of these minor things together add up to a lot of XP per run. Should a reward system like this be present in more MMOs, as well as the weekly free cash shop item? To me, yes and yes. I love stuff like that, and if you want to give me something for logging in once a week, you know, like Rift does, or when I hit that new loyalty thing in Rift and they just dump a bunch of free stuff on me, I'm in favor of both of these. I'm not in favor of the experience increase if it throws off the actual leveling experience by, you know, being able to, and you can do this in DDO, or at least you could back when I played it. Just keep doing stupid stuff for 15 hours, breaking pots over and over and over again to gain the levels. You know, I do want it to kind of force me to progress onto level appropriate stuff. But yeah, absolutely, I'm all for both of those if that's the case.
Yeah, all the other stuff I agree with, but not the breaking barrels. That was all I did in DDO pretty much. It was what I was damn good at, though.
Then what are you complaining about? All you did was break barrels, and you gained levels.
All right, last one is Blue Moon 145 as an A-bomb to Hearthstone. The cost of packs and character skins is too damn high. Grind away, dude. Grind away.
That's just right up Jason's alley. He doesn't pay for them. He grinds it. What are your thoughts? It was a question last week. Question of the week. Question of the week last week. Now I'm choking on spit. What are your thoughts on the Guild Wars 2 free-to-play restrictions / model? Todoran says, I just love Guild Wars 2. It's the best. I can't wait for raids.
So he's like me and Planetside, too. I love it. It's awesome.
It's awesome.
It's heaven and something else.
Yeah, let's not go there again. Go ahead.
Excuse me. Bratwurst says, Guild Wars 2 is a love-hate game for me. I love what they did with the game, the world, and the environment, and the character interactions. I hate how slow-paced it is. I mean, even WoW and Final Fantasy XIV was a lot faster. It took forever to level. The first 10 levels when you roll a new character were already painful. I guess it's because it was just not the game for me, despite all the amazing stuff it has. Going free-to-play was definitely a smart move, and for that I applaud them. Through that, they get to attract new players who have been wanting to play it. But unfortunately, I won't be returning this game anytime soon. I finally got my rocket launcher in the secret world. Well, there you go, Guild Wars 2 ArenaNet. You got to put rocket launchers in the game, and you'll get this guy right back.
I also have my rocket launcher in Secret World, so congratulations. I know how cool that is. I rock, I don't know what you're rocking, Bratwurst, but I rock assault rifle, shotgun, rocket launcher.
I do assault rifle, shotgun, too, and I haven't gotten a rocket launcher yet, though.
Nice, nice. And Guild Wars 2, if that was your main beef with it, you should probably check it out again. Because I don't
put in rocket launchers.
No, they didn't put in rocket launchers. I'm talking about the leveling. I didn't find it painful at all. I did 2 bomb lives, so an hour each, maybe an hour and a half each, because they both ran long, and then played for like 2 hours on top of those 3 hours. So in a total of 5 hours, I started a brand new character, and by the end of that 5 hours, I was already at like level 26. I mean, and it's it's just clipping right along.
But I will admit, having to go all the way to 80 can wear on you a little bit.
It
especially
can,
on
but with the
second, third
discovery and the boost that you get from the experience boost stuff that you get from like every other discovery chest, I don't think it's really as much a problem as it used to be. I do agree with you. It was kind of a grind way back when. Pimpin' Never Slippin' says Guild Wars 2 could have been better, but they took the game a different route than I thought they would years ago. But it's no biggie. It's not a monthly fee, so I can hop on anytime I want. But I really don't have much to do with my 580s other than make them look pretty. Even to craft high-end gear for all of them seems pointless, because you really don't feel that much more powerful even after you do. At least in Rift, Terra, and Blade and Soul, you can feel powerful as you level with better moves or with gear. I just don't get that feeling in Guild Wars 2. I'm going to let you comment on that one. You probably have a lot more experience on that side than I do.
And that is the direction they decided to go in. Like you said, that's what they chose because they didn't want it to be the gear treadmill where every couple months you're like, oh, I have to get the new set of gear. I have to learn all the new moves. I could see the reasoning behind people who always want to have that improvement and want to have that regular thing over and over. But then it does get into what we talk about with Skyforge, where if you haven't played for a year or so, now you have to do all this catching up just to get up to where other people are. Whereas, you said you had your 80 and you deleted him, but you haven't played the game basically for like 2 years. You can jump right into Heart of Thorn stuff with your 80 and just go right at it. So, even though you haven't played in 2 years, and that's what they always have tried to promote in that. That's just the approach they decided to take.
Go for the next one.
All right, Lunar Templar on Guild Wars 2 free to play sounds decent. I mean, I'm not going to play it. That ship sailed a while ago, but I've had to deal with worse. Well, if you're not going to play something, you don't have to deal with that. So
there's a positive outlook. I've had to deal with worse. ASP Raven Black Trap.
Call him Bob.
Bob says one Romanian viewer.
Oh, he's another Romanian.
No way!
All Romanians are named
We
Bob.
Romanian gamers see the vids first because we're awake at these hours. Gamers only. Oh, and I just love what they did to Guild Wars 2. Never played it. Got it. I play it now. Had to take packs and scare off cute but deadly rabbits. Would play again. 100 out of 10. Romania way in the lead now.
That's like we're up to 9 now. 9 Romanian viewers. Wow. Why are we so huge anyway?
We're kind of a big deal in Romania.
Yeah, I guess. We're like David Hasselhoff in Germany.
Right.
All right. And Dr. Thrax says Guild Wars 2 free-to-play model is extremely fair. It doesn't put you at any gameplay disadvantage. All right.
True. Question of the week this week. I want to know if you are going to buy a Blade and Soul Founders Pack now that we actually have the hard beta date, start date. If you are, tell us why. If not, tell us why not. And don't forget, we want to know from you Skyforge players, too, a little side question, particularly you guys and gals up there in the prestige levels. What do you think of this catch-up system? What the hell's going on there? Explain it to a dumb person like me. Give us the info. Until next week, Jason, where can everybody find you?
Find me, okay, brain just went away from it. Twitter at WinterInformal, stream twitch.tv/JasonWinter. Can I pimp my girlfriend's Etsy?
Go for it.
Dream Alley. Etsy.com/shop/Dream Alley. There you go. Guild Wars 2 charms.
See, 2.5 years ago, I let a co-host that did me a favor and came on the show pimp something, and they've been doing it ever since.
You tell us to pimp stuff.
I don't. Go ahead, pimp your stuff. I appreciate you doing the show. I'm Mike Byrne, a.k.a. Magic Man. You can follow me on Twitter at MagicMan1, MAGICKMAN1, or, of course, come on over to MMOBomb.com and check out everything there. Until next week, gang, stay safe, and we'll see you on the servers.